Greetings, adventurers. I am your dungeon master, Michael Demaro, and my pronouns are he, him.
Hi, my name's Nika, and my pronouns are she, her. I play Rourke.
Hey everybody, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Tim Lanning, my pronouns are he, him. And I play Chuck.
Hey everyone, I'm Jennifer Cheek, my pronouns are she, her, and I am playing Celine Von Esper.
Hi, my name is Mike Bachman, my pronouns are he, him, and I play Screech Echo.
Hi, this is David Stewart. I'm a producer and editor for the Greetings Adventurers podcast. Today we've got something special. In 2023, we launched a successful Kickstarter. We created a lot of content for our Kickstarter backers. Well, it just so happens that the weekend that we all got together happened to be the same weekend that Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves was released in theaters. So we all went to the theaters, watched the movie, and got together afterwards to talk about it. This is the conversation that occurred afterwards. You have access to both audio and video.
GAPCast D&D movie chat, dinner rolls, scene 69, take shot 420.
Wow!
Hello and welcome to our chat about the D&D movie Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. More like Honor Among Podcasters, am I right? Hey gang. We just got back from Alamo Draft House during our recording weekend. I saw it on March 31st. All sat together, racked up a bill of 384 or 284.
I was gonna say, I was like, not 384. That's a lot.
Yeah. But
Daddy needed a milkshake.
Listen, we needed to eat food.
We needed dinner.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
It's just true.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
It was honestly really good.
And they just bring you food at, like, I didn't do it, and I wish I had. Because Bachman did it, and I was so jealous. You just get a milkshake.
You can just get, I know. I was honestly thinking about it, and then...
It was a mistake.
It was?
It was too much food.
You know...
Like, the milkshake was good, but it was like...
But this is a whole milkshake.
You know what wasn't a mistake? Pickle fries.
They were great.
Can we all agree not to let Nika get another guild?
No, I disagree with that because it works out great for me.
I think Nika's, like, in the pocket of big pickles. Because it's like, pickles is all she talks about.
She does love pickles.
I love pickles.
There's so many cameras, I keep looking around wanting to look at one of the cameras.
Her family is actually,
but I want to look at
a pickle, like, dynasty. Yeah.
So it sounds like we all give a thumbs up to Alamo Draft House.
I absolutely.
I'm sorry, maybe, I don't know if it's basic because I feel like people have known about it for a while, but it's really nice.
They're spread. Like they went bankrupt. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Oh, was it during the pandemic?
I think it was a little.
Was that
before,
why they had that lame
sure.
thing of like, you're the hero?
Yeah.
Here.
Oh,
that's dumb.
That was such an ominous beginning
to
the
the
movie.
that.
When that came up, I was like, oh no.
Like, it made me feel like, oh, movies are failing. They're like, thank us for coming to the movies.
My understanding is that our good friend Tom Cruise is the one that introduced that. Because he basically thanked everyone for coming to the movies and keeping movies alive and not wearing masks and going into small enclosed places in movie theaters when Top Gun came out. And that's the first I heard of it. Maybe someone else did it before that. But now everyone does it and it's fucking crazy.
I don't like it.
I've never seen it.
I
do not like it.
I hate it so much.
It makes me feel like I'm being inducted into a cult, which makes sense because Tom Cruise started it.
It's just stank of desperation.
Yeah, I don't like it.
If you're gonna
and I feel like the actors, like, you could tell they did not like having to do it.
No.
They were
Chris
not.
Pine telling us that we were heroes.
He looked like he wanted to die inside, which made me like them.
Hugh Grant, like at the end, go.
Yeah.
The one kid from Detective Pikachu, I don't think even had a line, but
neither did
that's what he's from.
He was in another thing that I was thinking of the other. What's the other thing?
He was in a thing. It's like it just
the Detective
came out.
Pikachu trailer.
Detective Pikachu.
Shadow and Bone.
The trailer.
No, wait.
That would be something I've watched 1 or 2 episodes of.
Okay,
And
I'll look him
didn't
up
watch
because
the
he
rest.
was just recently.
He's a guy.
He's a guy.
Okay. Should we just, like, at the top do some, like, not very spoilerly, like,
that's a great point.
overall impressions of the movie, in addition to how we feel about the Alamo Draft House?
Spoiler alert, loved Alamo Draft House.
We love that.
But,
it was great.
Yeah, great point. Let's kind of go around the horn and spoiler-free thoughts of the film. Personally, I really liked it. We were kind of joking that it made us tear up a little bit at the end, even though the plot was very predictable. But there was something about just going to a fucking action movie that was just a film. You know what I'm saying? Just like fucking blockbusters. You know, not cinema or anything like that. I weirdly got bored in the middle, even though it was like I'm like into everything. I don't know. But I have nothing negative to say. It was more of like my critique of myself. Of like, okay, if I was dragon.
Was it kind of long? I actually don't know how long it was.
At a certain point, it was as if they were like hitting everything on a checklist.
Yeah,
and I think that might have gotten
like a little too much.
Because
exhausting.
There wasn't a lot of time to breathe for some things, and not in a super negative way.
It was like
per se,
coming at you so fast, and it was like, oh my god, this is another.
I feel like that's just kind of modern movies are like that now.
Yeah.
They don't let anything breathe, and I don't like that very much. I'm tired. I'm tired of the like.
Well, it's just kids today and their phones.
Oh my god!
No attention
Wow.
span.
Okay, so it was a 2-hour and 14-minute movie, which I feel like you guys already know what I think. 90-minute movies, bring them back.
Yeah.
Movies are too long.
90 minutes is the perfect length.
Some movies can be long, but you need to know if you can or not. And I think this one could have been shorter.
Yeah.
In my opinion. It could have been 2 hours.
Yeah, there's stuff they could have.
Yeah,
it was... In a lot of ways, I feel like it was very appropriate for D&D.
That's also true, though.
Yeah, they actually tried to make it an hour and a half.
Honestly, my opinion has fully turned around now. No, I honestly really enjoyed it the whole time.
Yeah.
I was having, and especially, in the beginning, I actually feel like tropes are underrated. I feel like there was a while where everyone was like, oh, you can't just be tropey, that's boring.
Right.
But I feel like now we're kind of coming back and no, tropes are cool because you could do stuff with them. And I feel like every time it would hit the tropey thing, his wife died, and sad backstory, and the different character archetypes was very satisfying to me.
Everyone had such good D&D character.
Everyone was such a good archetype. The barbarian and the bard and
I think it's a really good movie for people to learn about D&D.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I don't really have a deep D&D background. Can I still say that after we've been doing this 10 years? But
I think.
What was the monster? What was the tiger thing that was chasing them?
That was a displacer beast.
Fuck!
I didn't know it.
I actually somehow knew that, and I don't know how. But for me, I wasn't noticing any boxes being checked off. I wasn't. I was just. It was.
You mean D&D boxes?
Right. Exactly. It was just 100% this is just what it's like, and I was really getting into creative solutions for problems that fail.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
And I think nowadays movies have a really hard time with that, where they need the plan to be good and they need the execution to be good. So then the villain just comes in and wipes it away because they have to get to the next plot point. This one that's a great point. It was these are messy plans that are entertaining to watch, and they're mostly successful, but it makes sense to go to the next thing, go to the next thing, go to the next thing.
It felt a bit fish out of water. It felt like that was a party of people that didn't. They belong in that world, but only because they that's.
Yeah, they belong in a D&D party, but they don't really belong as the heroes of a movie.
Almost like Jumanji, but D&D style.
Yeah, an isekai situation.
It did kind of feel like fantasy movies aren't typically like that, where it's just...
They're not usually, funny.
Everyone's, a wizard or something. There's no, just, common people rolling around. It is, again, very D&D-like.
Yeah. No real spoiler, but there's a joke of, a commoner rolling her eyes at one of the wizard characters, my 5-year-old can do magic like that. It was funny that way. Nika, what did you give your spoiler-free thoughts?
I thought it was really good, and I thought that it made me super excited to play D&D. And I like watching it for the opposite reason that Bachman did, because I like watching it and saying, "That's a displacer." That's
So I was talking about this with the boys while they were pissing. There's no game there, but I was really nervous about going into it having that nowadays modern Marvel movie dialogue. The trailer was What is that thing?
And
that's an owl bear.
Yeah.
And Michelle Rodriguez being like, where's on our side? And that's just like the hacky sort of dialogue that we have nowadays, and it sucks. Even though I do like to say, so that just happened, but it's an ironic way.
I don't think that line was in the movie, though, was it?
For the second time, it was.
It was.
I'm not going to tell you a third time.
Do you remember when we said save it, save it, save it, save it, save it?
But I did say yes, it was. Oh, and you're just repeating it?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's for content.
I'm sorry.
There's a camera here. There's one there. One over there.
Sorry, that's so funny.
You just got punked.
Can we do that one more time?
No, leave it in. Hold on.
So the thing that I liked is that when she says, I'm glad he's on our side, it wasn't that big deal. And Bachman brought that up as a good point, too. He said that.
Yeah, like in... Wait, what?
The movie didn't have that, and there's like it did have those scenes, obviously.
Yeah, but there were still but I feel like they didn't feel as like eye-rolly in context. Like in the trailer, I was like, all right, this is a bit much for me, but they didn't like really into it.
Yeah, and those were the like those were the worst ones. It's like when you see an eye-rolly thing in the trailer, you're like, okay, this is what the movie's gonna be.
Yeah.
And they lightly surprise you of like, okay, that was just
it was actually better than
whatever.
Yeah.
I love the gelatinous cube.
That was very, very good. Sorry.
It's like in the basic trailer.
Yeah.
That's not really a spoiler.
But I thought that was cool. I think it made a cool sound.
Yes, it did.
It was very texturally pleasing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of textures in that movie. But
it was super MacGuffin heavy, but like so is the
that's the D&D.
Yeah, you know what?
Exactly.
They not a spoiler, but they never say what that horn thing is.
It's just like it's a thing.
And the thing that I really loved it was so many of these video games, whatever, is proper noun must be grabbed so that proper noun avoids the proper nouning.
Yeah.
And, the big proper noun were things that were in the world. The Fae and wizards are bad. We don't, even if you don't know who they are, the characters were treating them as something that exists.
Right, because I was like, I don't know what Fae means, but it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, he's one of those.
And the behind-the-scenes big bad guy, that's obviously a proper noun, but, it wasn't the same thing. I kind of respected it, how they didn't necessarily lean into and hit every single, like, it's a mimic. They had a mimic, but it was like, this we're in 10 towns, They're at, like, the movie opens in Icewind Dale, they don't even talk about it,
Yeah.
It's just like, this is another location. So it could have been a lot worse in that regard, and really the trailer has like the most egregious versions of it. But it sounds like we all enjoyed it. And
did Bachman, did you give your overall any additional?
I think so.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that we didn't skip you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now does that mean
you're a valuable member and you remember like Good Goose.
Yeah. Can we talk about spoilers now though?
Yeah, let's hop into those spoilers.
None for me. I haven't seen it yet.
I was sitting next to you.
Yeah, and I had a milkshake.
Don't tell me. Did you see what he like? That's a good shit. Yeah. So I want to talk quickly about the gelatinous cube.
Yeah.
Because I found that to be one of the best uses. So they, like Bachman said, they had so many creative solutions to things.
I really like seeing that.
I think the gelatinous ooze one made me nervous the most when seeing it, because in the trailer they jump into it, and what we know from playing the game is gelatinous ooze like dissolve you.
Yeah.
And they set up in the movie like they kill a lot of people in this movie, and usually in funny ways. So they kill a guy in there. Yeah. And then the plan is to jump into the ooze and then use the slowly shutting thing, and she turns into a snake and slurps her way out. Yeah. And I thought that was like really interesting.
Well, because she noticed that she was a little injured, but not that bad.
Right.
And so she's like, okay, I didn't know how I could deal with this.
The only complaint that I have about that is whenever they pulled out Simon,
yeah,
his bracelet didn't come off, and if hers did, why wouldn't his?
I think they pulled him out hand.
Yeah.
So her hand came out, his hand was
I thought they
forward.
pulled it.
Oh, so it wasn't that like they all, it just like got left. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, just happened, right?
Okay.
That's a bad design, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to just wiggle it
On the
wiggle it
bracelet?
off with a
Yeah,
Gillette collar.
that bracelet's too loose.
I enjoy collars,
I'm more of
yeah.
a collar guy. I really like the opening because I didn't expect it to do that thing at all. Just
Yeah.
kind of Guardians of the Galaxy, like here we are in the prison thing.
Well, it's a good like story way to like tell the past, like
Yep.
and get you caught up to present.
Yeah.
Well, and
I
it's
love
like,
it.
And it was the
Eric
present
Koga.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so
What was his?
fucking
I already forgot his
I
name.
remember the being like Jim.
It's like Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, yeah, something like that.
That's so fucking
I love
funny.
that as like
Jonathan.
an example of like what it's like to really play D&D because they came up with this overcomplicated
Yeah.
solution.
Yes.
And as
It's
they're
like we
flying
were just-
out, it's like, yeah, you were pardoned.
Fine, actually.
Well, we pardoned you.
The initial plan was enough.
That's
but they
us.
just
That's
kept
our
going.
group.
Yeah.
It is. And I also like that at a different point in the movie, like they had like two plans going at the same time, like to try to
Yeah.
get in the vault. And like that feels very accurate also, where it's like, okay, we can't really decide on one plan, so we're gonna kinda do
And I
both
love
of
that
them.
when they were
It even
both
works
kind of
first.
working, it's like, I knew it. It's like,
Yeah.
you have technically 4 plans going,
Yeah,
even if 2 of his plans are the same plans, but like with a different flavor to it.
With a stink on it.
With or without the stink. You
And
know?
also, they brought a small child along with them on.
Yes, they did.
danger, which is
I felt very validated
Yeah,
by
it's
that.
vindication right
see,
there.
we're not monsters, okay?
And they killed a lot of people.
They killed a
Oh, they sure
lot.
did.
It honestly
So-
did make me feel better about our party. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
we're not like that bad, or like it's less that like we're bad people for playing. Like, assholes.
They must have had to make that choice. They must have been sitting around
Yeah.
a table at some
Like,
point,
are
and
we
they had
gonna
to be
be,
like,
like,
"Are we killing
honorable?
people or not
Yeah.
killing people?"
Well, 'cause,
And
like,
You got to.
And the
That's
game is just killing people.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you know, that was the whole thing, right? It's like, yeah, we're thieves, but he goes, we don't hurt people.
Yeah.
So when they're working with the wizard and she does hurt people, Chris Pine has to like look at the camera and be like, we're different. So
Yeah.
and you know, technically, like, sort of, like, it's possible Holga didn't kill all those people. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, people
Maybe she
died
just
all
knocked
around
him
them for sure. But, you know, I think they kind of are able to kind of have their cake and eat it too in that very
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
sense. But
That's why the helmet stayed on, for the most part.
yeah. Yes, very true, very true. And they had like, it's easier to bash someone completely covered in armor and be like, I'm KO. They'll wake up a little later.
The druid escaping, I really liked.
That was great. That was a great scene.
Yes.
The shape changing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, when the paladin actually killed the guy.
Oh,
but I
yeah.
mean, he wasn't. Like he came back or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
like a very explicit, like, oh,
No, dude, I was like, oh, he's a bad paladin. It's like, no, they're undead. and,
Right,
you know,
so
they're
it's
coming back.
like that's like part of his code or whatever.
Yeah.
I know, just like I love the character archetypes. Like, I'm like, oh my god, this paladin.
Oh, the paladin's
like,
so funny.
So funny. Like the like fuck up sorcerer
Yeah.
who's like very like socially inept, very funny.
Like his
love
plot
that.
point is literally like, I don't believe in myself. And I also thought it was really interesting that they worked in the wild magic table, and he
Yes.
just goes, that's
Yeah.
wild magic, and just moves on from it.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
just go, huh? So,
Yeah, I think they did a good job of like not
they've
like
learned not to explain every single little
like you
thing.
can't, and it doesn't matter because if you don't even know what it is, it just gives like more depth to the world. Like if you don't know that it's a D&D,
Right, even just like
specifically.
the con man, the what's his name, the
Forge.
Yeah,
Before, yeah,
just how they
yeah.
like
Hugh Grant.
He was part of the party before. You know?
Yeah, I love
and,
that.
Like it's this lived world.
Yeah,
that already
Like they have
existed.
history with
Yeah.
him, and yeah,
They
totally.
even argued about the rules a couple of times, which I thought was pretty good. Like, with the 5 questions.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
Yeah, that felt a little
seems
Yes.
arbitrary.
fourth wall breaking a little bit, but
But I thought, but it also again made me happy because it's like, how many times have you like fucked up a spell like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Like, god damn it, I gotta try it again
and,
now.
like,
Okay.
DMs across the world love to just like that had a
I
question
did
mark.
it, I did it,
Your
yeah.
voice one on the end. Yeah, the 5 question scene was like released early, and it was really funny. And having seen the whole thing, I was curious how they
Yeah.
were going to handle it in the actual movie. And the actual movie is great because like they do the 5 question bit, and then he goes back to sleep, and then they have to start asking other people.
Yeah, that's
And they're like, this guy only knows one thing, and then the
Like, oh
joke
my
was
God.
like, you still have 3 questions. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
And that felt very true. Like that felt like a thing that we would do in our party. Like, well,
It-
just ask him what his favorite
very
food
genuine.
is.
live on.
yeah, it was very much like your choices have consequences.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And like, I feel like a lot of that is Chris Pine. Honestly, like, give it up for Chris Pine. I love him.
I don't know if a lot of other people could have pulled that off.
He's so charming. Like, he's very good at that. Like, I'm just like the playing man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in the fighting specifically, but I'm the face.
It's pretty wild that this movie has Chris Pine in it, and Hugh Grant in it.
Yeah, Hugh Grant.
There was another character that I think was like a side character that was like really.
Well, the person who was playing the Red Wizard was terrifying and awesome.
She was so good. I love how weird she was.
She was
same.
so weird.
Literally, when I was getting really inspired watching because I was like, okay, now my next character, I need to be a weird freak. Like,
it's good to remember. You don't have to wear normal clothes.
No, it doesn't matter.
Like, you can be insane looking.
I was, like, in my head the whole time at the end, I was like, she's cast a level 9 spells.
They got you.
Yeah, like animate object type shit. When she shot something green. Like,
oh my god. Well, I was trying to. I couldn't figure out like what class, like specifically, like everyone was. But her like minion dude he did the green like stabby stab. What was he? Was he a warlock?
Hexblade?
That's what I was like. Was he a hexblade warlock?
That's what I was thinking.
I think so. Obviously, Chris Pine's a bard, but he doesn't do magic.
Right.
And like Forge is just is like a rogue, but they're both rogues.
Right, that's why I couldn't tell how how
don't
closely they were sticking to like a character build.
Anyone who's not magic, it's obviously very wishy-washy.
Yeah.
I liked how it was interesting that they didn't give Chris Pine any magic, because I think that was the right choice. Because they were fine with it.
Because it's like that. Yeah,
I feel like he was
most of it, what he's doing is inspiration.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably be like, oh, it's the magic of inspiration.
Exactly,
it's all
right?
flavor.
It's like the non-magical version of like D&D stuff.
He's
so it
kind
makes
of a
total sense.
Pathfinder bard, I feel like they're more magic.
Yeah, and I think it would have bogged it down if they leaned too much into like this guy's this class, this guy's that class.
But they do distinguish between wizards and sorcerers in this. So so it's like there is like
a bit of a
I'm
from this blood. And the thing that I thought was cool is like Holga was most likely a barbarian.
Yeah, I assume.
But they don't say it, and she's a few times she starts screaming, right?
Yeah.
She did a lay down a couple times afterwards.
Yeah.
One of them was because she got stabbed, but
So, she could have legally just been a fighter, but like for the martial classes, they're like, you're just a guy.
Which I think is the right choice, like making it like very like, and they did a thing where it was like the bard and like did like this is what a bard does. That would be terrible. That would suck.
I was
and
like,
you can see a world where that would have happened. But I'm glad it didn't.
On the edge of my seat, parentheses negative, for them to make a vicious mockery joke of like, being like, that was vicious after he makes fun of someone. But they didn't do that. Like we said, I think it was just the biggest surprise was how they were able to make the goofiest shit like work. The constant like obsession with potatoes.
That was really
and again, that's such a D&D thing.
It is like your group just gets attached to something. Yeah. It's like, and the potato shows up.
Right. It's like Nika's current character is obsessed with pickles.
No, that's just Nika.
Nika's character.
Yeah.
I love the fat dragon.
Oh my god, the fat dragon! What? Like, is that? See, that was like, is that based on like a specific?
That
fat
was just
dragon?
a dumb thing, I think.
They just were like, let's just make
when
this
he
dragon.
lays down and just starts rolling.
I need a big stuffy of a fat dragon.
Yeah, I bet they made one, but I turned to Jennifer and like, that's just like Lucy.
Yes.
And then when we got home from the movie, David's sleeping in my office, and that's where Lucy usually hides when people are over. So he was putting his stuff away, and you just see this scared cat standing in the back, running away, and he goes, "Oh, it's just like the dragon." I was like, "That's what I'm saying," because Lucy's fat.
She is. She's my little chubby.
Yeah, and that was like, that's how they got away from those undead baddies, was just like eating them.
Yeah, and I like that because again, that's another thing that will happen sometimes in D&D. It's like, oh, you think you're fighting this guy, but actually you're asking to save because a bigger bad guy comes, and you're like, I gotta run away now.
Were those undead assassins supposed to be something specific? Because I was like, what would just come back to life a minute later?
I mean, they're just like,
just a thing.
Yeah. They're.
That's what. I wasn't.
That was
exactly
one of the things where I was like, that seems so specific that I feel like I should recognize it.
I think that's kind of like the good and bad thing was they handled so many specific things, basically like not telling you that whenever they didn't say something else, it's like, is that the
Is it a thing?
Because like when you guys mentioned the Green Blades, like, oh, it's probably warlocks. Like, probably not, but you know, it could be.
I don't know, man. I mean, the way I feel like someone's gonna write an article on this, and they're gonna find all.
There's gonna be 90 of them. They're all gonna
suck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice for some of that stuff to be ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to know exactly what everything is.
David and Michael were talking about the reference they didn't love as much. Michael.
So the cartoon, the like 1980s D&D cartoon. At the end, they're running around a maze. Again, such a fucking D&D thing.
Exactly.
How many times have we run around a maze?
Mostly your bad guys.
Hey, yo, what's up? Let's go.
But yeah, there was another adventuring party running around, and it was literally exactly like in costume.
Like from the cartoon.
It was like cosplayers.
Well, because they look like my thought was that they looked like the dwarves from Shrek. In my brain, I honestly was like, oh, those are the dwarves from Shrek. And just like, my brain moved on from it.
It's like they got like a wizard with a pointy hat. It's like the whole thing.
I was really curious if there's going to be like a ton of references of all those characters that are just running around in that scene, but definitely that one was there.
There was one gal in the other party that got eaten by a displacer beast, and she looked real cool. And she had like the black hair.
She was in the trailer, and I was like, "Who's this girl?"
Yeah.
But I love how they made like a couple of those people look compelling.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "No, they're gone."
I want to see the other D&D movie, which is their
the other people.
I know how that one ends. What did you guys think about the story overall? Like the Chris Pine, like getting the Resurrection Stone, and you know the overarching story.
Meh.
I think they paid it off pretty well.
Yeah.
I think they stuck the landing.
I thought so too. Because like they making the point of like to the daughter, like she doesn't know.
That did hit me actually.
She doesn't know her.
That one tugged my string of like, I didn't want to bring your mom back. I wanted to bring back my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's realizing, wait, that is her mom.
Right.
And I was like, oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Even though I saw it coming a million, like it's so
it was
everything
very neat. It was very neat and tidy.
Exactly.
That she died at the right time.
But again, I think that's fine because this is a D&D movie, and so there's something satisfying when you're like you kind of know the story beats, like. The details change and the characters change, but I think it's okay to like go for story beats that are well trodden.
The surprise wasn't the plot point. The surprise was more that they handled it well and how they sold
and like how they got there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like you said, like the way that they would like you could see that they were like doing a skills challenge and sometimes failing, like was very fun.
Yeah,
man, I love that barbarian character too. She's
she's great.
So fucking dumb.
The fact that she was like. The weird choice of Bradley Cooper. That's who I was trying to get to.
Okay, that was a weird choice. I kind of thought.
Yes. What I was saying before was that it's wild that Chris Pine, Hugh Grant, and Bradley Cooper are in a D&D movie, and especially because Bradley Cooper is playing a throwaway bit character, which like the choice of a gnome / halfling / whatever, just being Bradley Cooper, and then the big gruff Holga, who was set up early on, got kicked out of her tribe for marrying outside the tribe, and it turns out
in love outside of the tribe. It's different.
And then the whole vibe of like, he's just a little guy. Yeah. And she's so into him. And then a bigger girl shows up. And like, what kind of thunder does this guy have? And at the end of the movie, Holga looks up another little guy.
Yeah! Oh my gosh, he's gonna type! Okay. But that did feel like a thing that would happen in our D&D party, and like a joke of like, I mean, he's actually dating a even bigger girl. Like,
Toby dating a big dragon.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, tropes are good.
I, again, loved the sorcerer character, him accidentally stepping on the thing and like destroying the bridge. Just like, my bad. Yeah. Like him, just like, he has very like low lows and very high ups. Yeah. And I felt like that was a really fun character trope.
I thought the paladin was great. I thought it was great that they put him in for this. Much as I put him in.
Exactly.
Like, as much as you could tolerate.
Here's the competent one. He's really funny because he's stupid, and he's like that classic lawful stupid paladin.
Yes.
And then he's gone because the bit where it's like, there he goes, walking a straight line. Oh, there's a rock. And what's he gonna do? Oh, over it was a legit, surprisingly funny line that had the entire theater. Like that was really that was really funny. And yeah, like you said, they had him in it. They got him out. They showed him at the very end for a little bit. It was a little weird, but whatever. And I love a character like that who's just like, it's actually not a good idea to do this. Yeah, I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, he was like a more annoying Spock, in my opinion.
What I did love is him saying to Chris Pine's character, like, what's his name? Like Anders?
I forget.
Something like that.
I don't remember what name was.
Being like, it's actually kind of fucked up to bring your wife back because this world is not the only thing. So she's actually vibing. Right, exactly.
So it's like that like helped build up to him making the decision later to not. So it wasn't just him doing it for his daughter. It was also him realizing that would not be kind to his wife to do.
Yeah.
In a world where there is an afterlife or other planets that exist.
Yeah.
Edgin, what a name! I love it. That's a D&D
I think that's what I call him, Ed,
name.
and then throw a D&D twist on it.
Edgin. Yeah, they put it through the name generator.
I hope that's how they came up with the names. Sophina is a cool fucking name.
Sophina, oh my god, okay, can we talk about her?
I love her.
Deal? What a fucking freak. I loved her so much. Like, so scary. I thought it was really cool of them to be like, hey, we know there's like kind of like second satanic panic vibe. Fuck you, we're doing demon shit. Like really satanic looking, like evil. I like
and
that.
that's like so D&D, right? It's like, what if a lich was in charge of a city? Over there, and he wants to be over here now. What if that happened? Wouldn't it be fucked up? What do you guys think of the druid character?
I love her.
Yeah, she was great.
I thought so many creative uses of her shit.
I thought she was a little too precocious in the trailer, and I don't think she was that bad. You know?
I do have to say, I feel like she had very much just the plain like I am an outsider.
Like you humans.
I don't like humans, and again stereotypical.
Which is
and they're cowards that they didn't make the tiefling like blue. They showed her use her tail like explicitly once. And it's like, wait, what was that? And then they show her running, and you don't know what's happening, and it's like, oh, that's her tail. And she falls down once and she whips her tail around something. Then they never see that. Yeah, they don't really show her having a tail, and then after that her tail's out, so she must have been hiding it.
You can see there's a couple times where they show her tail.
But I think like a few times I thought it was her like being mid shift of something else. But that makes more sense. Like, no, she's a tiefling. She has a tail.
Yeah, and they didn't like call super good attention to it. And the way that she kills the wizard at the end also got a huge reaction from the theater. Another one that I was even surprised by of how she fucking just annihilated her.
I think when they started doing that, I was like, oh, they're doing the like Avengers whole thing. But then they kept going.
It was so pratfall, right? Like, do it again. That was funny enough. Throw her against the wall. That's funny enough.
Like, I think you got
fall to the ground. Funny. And then the stones fall down.
That was great. So they knew exactly like how much further to take it.
The rules of 3 is good, but the rule of 7 is good.
Yes.
That was great.
It definitely felt like they're setting up for a sequel, right? But I'm kind of sad.
The only bit of that was I guess whatever the dude that I like leaned over to you and I was like, who's that?
Yeah, Saz Tam.
Oh yeah.
Wait, that was the paladin dude, wasn't it?
Oh no, that was the wizard of Thing.
Okay, the creep in the shadows.
Saz Tam.
Sure. That guy. Yeah, that was the only part where I was like, okay, maybe that's a sequel thing.
Yeah, like when she was turning sicko mode and they showed her hand first, I was like, oh, is that a Vecna reference? And that's the thing, is like it can be a reference without it being that, right?
Or are you talking about when her finger was going all black? Was she gonna cast Finger of Death?
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I thought.
Because every time David gasps next to me, I'd be like, "Oh, that's definitely a thing."
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm saying. Is like it can both be a reference and her about to do that thing, but then they're like, "Oh, that's just her whole body." So it's like most likely it's just her turning into a corpse, right? Because she's dead, like everyone else is dead. Like so, I was like, "Wait, how's she not gonna get caught up in this?" Oh, she did.
Speaking of spell references, give it up for Maximilian's Earth and Grass.
Let's go.
Tim, hey, when it showed up, that was my
Yeah, Macmillan and Earth and Grass versus whatever the fuck the scary.
Yeah, the other one, like
Big B's scary hand.
Yeah. There are a lot of hands, like, because isn't like Hand of Vecna? That's a thing, or is that just for Stranger Things? I don't know.
No, that's a thing.
That's a thing. Yeah, the hand. I feel
it
like
wasn't in the movie.
Huh?
It just wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, but no, that was I was happy to see that show up.
Yeah,
too.
that was pretty great.
When she throws him through the air and he like reaches out with his like hand to catch himself.
Yeah, that was great.
That was awesome.
The other thing
That's
I really
kind of what we were doing with Jermichael.
I know. I was like,
literally.
stop stealing our shit.
We were also saying that the big fat dragon was Jermichael, obviously.
Yeah. I also loved the sorcerer had magic and he would do it. And then sometimes he would just reach to this thing on his side and then do something with it. And that was another thing that's like, I have no idea what that is. And I'm loving that he's doing it. You know?
It made me be like, I need to start thinking about items more.
The camera like rotated.
He would be
yes.
Oh, is that when he did the gravity thing?
Yeah, I
think so.
Yeah,
but he did it towards the end of the movie too.
Yeah,
with the wave when they moved the boat.
Oh,
yeah. Thing on his belt.
Was it like something that held spells or something?
Maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that like he did it more times. The camera didn't, like Bachman said, zoom in and spin with it. But you know,
you could see a couple times when he reached out, and I think he like. Because doesn't he like he grabs something and uses it, and then he's like, "Oh, that was wrong." I remember exactly what he said.
Okay.
He's like, "Yeah, that was the wrong one," and like.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was like their way to kind of have like material components or like spellcasting focus, or if it was just explicitly like it's a magic item that stores spells and shit like that. Yeah,
sure.
I mean, that's the thing. That's like the 9th thing we've mentioned that we're like, I'm not entirely sure what that was, but it could be one of these 5 references in the game.
It
or
feels
not.
like something that exists in D&D.
Yep.
It's not an exact thing. It's like an amalgamation of several things.
And like we said, it did a good job of breaching the gap of like, here's this wizard doing wizard shit that is one-to-one D&D, and then these other people doing kind of weirder stuff.
I think if you went and knowing absolutely nothing about D&D, you would like this game.
I agree.
If you
Movie.
know... Yes, thank you.
But maybe the game but probably you would be like, wait, maybe D&D is fun.
But then also, like, if you know things, you will enjoy it because they have the stuff.
Yeah, and I think kind of like Bachman was saying, there's almost like any level, right? Of like, you know, okay, I know what that is, but you know.
What I appreciate is like I can't stand a show like Big Bang Theory.
Right.
Yes,
I am doing a reference.
It seems like here's like some corporate guy being like, okay, make a show about this thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this one seemed like whoever was writing it really like understood like what it's like to play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a broad variety of
because I think they probably knew going into it they had to avoid the Big Bang Theory issue.
Yeah,
of like okay, here's the mimic. Here's a mimic, and the audience goes, "There's a mimic."
Yeah, like no, that does not play as well anymore. I think people are kind of tired of that.
Yeah, definitely. Any final thoughts?
Good movie, go see it.
Go see it.
I
Very pleased.
I honestly really enjoyed it.
I heard it was good, and I thought it was good.
I do hope they do another one.
I think this movie is reviewing well, and I think it's going to make a lot of money. So.
Yeah, I think because it's like honestly, like it's one of those where it's like you could just do infinite other movies about anything,
This
like
world.
It
is
different actors.
runs to the ground,
like,
baby.
The world does feel.
Well, that's
different,
boring though. Like Marvel just like all exists, and it's like you have to watch all of them together. And I feel like this is something that you could like split. It's like Redwall.
we're in this.
It's like Redwall. You don't have to read them all, but there's like little like off series.
We're in this Zaz Tam Chronicles.
Oh my
you know,
God,
we gotta
I'm ready
have
for it.
9 interconnected movies.
That's why they didn't show him, because they're gonna figure out the actor later.
Exactly.
Yeah, they didn't want
Josh
to
Brolin. Andy Serkis.
Oh, dude, we've got to get Andy Serkis in one of these D&D movies, please.
It'd be funny if he was the orc/hobgoblin at the beginning.
Yeah. I'm sure they wouldn't waste him on a small character.
That's so
she
true.
fucked his knees up so
bad.
That was a very pointed way to start the film, right?
Yes, yes. It honestly, I okay, actually, can we talk about that for a second before we end? Because I feel like doing that very first, like right in the beginning, was like, okay, we did this and we're done with it. This has never we've addressed it and we're not gonna go there again.
And Chris Pine talking about knitting mittens and be like, I'm not gonna do fingers. I'm not showing you.
Yeah.
So
knitting was really cute, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
That like immediately made me like his character. He was in there knitting.
Yeah.
But,
Cool beans. Thanks the movie.
Yeah.
For happening.
Thanks, the movie.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alamo Draft House.
You are the real heroes for making movies.
You
That's true.
No, you guys are the real heroes for listening to the podcast,
and
so that we can go to the movies
exactly,
and watch the
and then talk about the movies for you to listen to.
I'm glad it worked out that it came out now.
Yeah, it's funny because we did not plan it, and it just happened.
Yeah.
David's selling us something. David, you're the hero. Oh, the viewers and the streamer the hero.
That's so true.
All 10 or 20 or 12 of you.
We can't tell, but we'll check in.
Anywhere from 5 to 30.
Or the viewers watching this in the future. Who's to say? Who's to say?
Where can you even see the views for that?
Over there on that monitor.
Well, bye.
You were the
real
hero.
Okay, shit. We just kind of trailed off at the end there. I want to apologize for that.